if you've passed by Wollongong's Crown Street Mall over the past 300 or so days, you would have seen people sleeping out. Now, this is being led by a local doctor who is trying to bring, kind of focus and coverage to the way that refugees are treated. He's calling it the indefinite sleep out to end indefinite, detention for refugees. The man himself joins us now. Javed, welcome to the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
We love having you here. It's a really a great treat to talk to you. If I can ask you, though, can you give us an idea of what indefinite detention is and what does it mean for the refugees who are experiencing that?
Well, as the name sort of suggests, indefinite detention is basically the current situation our asylum seekers face, whereby they've come hundreds of thousands of kilometres in some cases, seeking refuge, fleeing war, persecution and death, only to be locked up in worse than prison-like situations and without a known duration sentence. So the hardest thing for these refugees and what tends to break them is the fact that day 1,000 for them may as well be day zero because there is no clear end in sight.
Sure, it's a very powerful message that you're getting across there. I've got to ask you though, and I mean this, very respectfully. You're a doctor, you're earning good money. Why do you take up a cause like this? What's the passion and the power behind it?
Well, I think personally, I find it very frustrating. I've entered a profession which is very much grounded on justice, equality, and to see a country as great as Australia kind of succumb to quite barbaric and very, there's no other word for it really. To see that and to feel helpless is not a nice feeling to deal with. So I guess in some ways this is just an attempt to stand up to that.
We know that change happens slowly. Are there any milestones in particular that you're hoping to reach?
I have definitely realised that change happens slowly. I think I sort of started this quite ambitious and probably a bit naive, but I'm realising that it's going to be a very, very long time. But I think the motivation for it hasn't waned nonetheless. So milestones. I guess when I started, I didn't know how long it would have to go for the sleep out. We do have a very clear set of aims as guided by Doctors for Refugees organisation, and what we advocate for is a humane period of processing. Ideally within 45 days. We don't need 7 years to determine whether someone's a legal refugee or not, and to provide, I guess, all the essentials like healthcare and financial support in that time. So that's what we're hoping to achieve, but I have a feeling, or at least at this rate, it's going to take a lot more effort.
Of course, and we can't underestimate, Jav, the wonderful work you've already done. 315 nights you've been sleeping outside to bring, kind of notice to this cause. What's a typical night for you once, you turn your phone off, you get under the sleeping bag and your head hits the pillow? What's a typical night for you out there in the elements?
Well, I mean, when we initially started sleeping out in Wollongong Mall, out in the public, it's definitely quite a daunting experience. You really feel like you feel very vulnerable, basically, not only to the extremes of weather, which we've managed to survive so far, but also to the people that are constantly walking at all hours of the morning. So I think it's that sacrifice of security and a good night's sleep that we hope will carry our message, because there's a lot of words thrown around in politics and media, and I just think, and I hope that actions ultimately speak louder than words.
Jav, I've got to ask you, obviously there's a very checkered past in this country about how people, the greater community feel about refugees. Why, in your own words, why is it important that we care about them? I care about them. This show cares about them. But if you're trying to change minds, why should we care about refugees?
Well, I think because they are us and we are them. And in another setting, we could well be them. And I would hope that if one day, God forbid, if we had to flee our beautiful country for whatever reason, that there would be humane people out there willing to help us out. I think this is just a matter of humanity, really. And I've got so much faith and belief in Australians. I know Australians. I am Australian, and I know we're all good people. And I just feel that we shouldn't be guided by fear. Fear that's, I don't believe, is justified or grounded in much fact. So that's what we're really fighting up against.
You have connections with refugees. What are they feeling at the moment? The people who we've got in detention, what are they saying to you?
It's a mixed bag, actually. On one hand, I really get the sense that these people are completely broken, in a sense. I've been in contact with several refugees who've been detained now for 7 years, and they went in as 18, 20-year-olds and are now 27, and they're the best years of your life, and they've just been robbed. So certainly on one hand, they're just shattered, but on another hand, they hold on to hope, and it's inspiring beyond words what they've endured and how they can still find some positive. So it's been quite moving to be in touch with them in recent times with the upheaval of certain protests like that of which is happening in Queensland at the moment. I think there is a little bit of light for them, and we need to give them that positivity. We really do.
Jav, I've got to say they're very lucky to have someone like you on their side. Thank you very much for your time today. Just quickly, where can we go if we want to help out with your cause? Where can we go to do that?
Well, actually, one thing I really want to get across is that what we're doing is a very small scale thing, and there are so many organisations and amazing individuals across this country fighting this particular battle. So I'm only a small player in it, but if you think that, if you believe in what we're doing, not trying to get into people's faces, not trying to be aggressive, if you want to protest in a peaceful way, feel free to sleep out in your backyard or your balcony. Send us a picture of the collective day. We're called the Indefinite Sleepout because we have stated that we're going to stay out so long as refugees remain in detention. So if you want to stand in solidarity with refugees, it's a really good and peaceful avenue to hopefully inspire and spark change.
Oh, Jav, you're a wonderful man. We really appreciate your time. We understand you've got to get back to your normal day job at the Wollongong Hospital there. So thank you very much for taking the time, and we hope that many people will support you.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your support as well, getting the word out.
Absolutely, Jav. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
If you want to get involved with what Jav's doing and the team, just go to facebook.com/the Indefinite Sleepout.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo Ben.